Virtually all self-made millionaires and billionaires, such as Bill Gates, Oprah Winfrey, and Walt Disney, had the ability to think big and kick ass. It's hard to explain, so I have devised the following success quiz, which you can take to see if you have it. If you have it, you are going to make a lot of money. Take this quiz to see if you match the profile. 1. What is your financial dream? A. Winning the lottery. B. Getting a good job with health benefits, a 401k, and 3 weeks vacation. C. Owning my own home. D. Having unlimited passive income from a business and/or real estate holdings or other investments. 2. How much money do you want to have in 5 years? A. $100,000 to $249,999. B. $250,000 to $499,999. C. $500,000 to $4,999,999. D. $5 million or more. 3. Which statement best describes your financial situation? A. I am very satisfied with where I am financially. B. I am somewhat satisfied with where I am financially. C. I am unsatisfied but feel hopeless. D. My financial situation is completely unsatisfactory. I want much more. 4. How much time do you spend each day building your wealth? A. Less than half an hour. B. Half an hour to 1 hour. C. 1 hour to 2 hours. D. 2 hours or more. 5. How much money do you spend on business, financial education, and training? A. Less than $100 per year. B. $200 to $499 per year. C. $500 to $1,199 per year. D. More than $1,200 per year. 6. What do you do when you are faced with a difficult problem? A. Ignore it and hope it will go away. B. Complain to my friends and family. C. Turn it over to someone else to worry about. D. Brainstorm until I find a creative solution. 7. What is your attitude toward work? A. It is drudgery. I hate my job. B. I do not mind work, but I wish I were doing something else. C. Work is okay. I have to work to get paid. D. I love to work. It's exhilarating and fun. 8. What would you do if you lost your job or source of income? A. Save money by moving in with friends or family and collect unemployment insurance. B. Go back to school for retraining. C. Find a new job. D. Start my own company. 9. Which statement best describes your energy and concentration level? A. I barely have enough energy to get through the day. B. I work hard for a while, and then I run out of steam and coast through the rest of the day. C. I can work hard for 8 hours. D. I am a blaze of energy, and I never get tired when I'm doing something I enjoy. 10. Which best describes your reaction when someone tells you that you can't do something? A. I give up and sit around feeling sorry for myself. B. I lose my temper and throw a tantrum. C. I give it another try. D. I get energized and will not give up until I get what I want. 11. You have an important decision to make and you do not know what to do. Which statement best describes your decision-making process? A. I watch a lot of TV. B. I talk to all my friends to see what they would do. C. I analyze the situation logically and do what seems to make the most sense. D. I trust my gut instincts after doing B and C. 12. What is your attitude toward people? A. I believe people are generally good and would never lie, cheat, or steal from me. B. I surround myself with people who look up to me, even if they are not the best qualified. C. I hire the best people and trust them to do a good job. D. I hire the best people and treat them professionally, but I watch them like a hawk. 13. When someone intentionally harms you or your reputation, how do you react? A. I get very depressed and wonder why they don't like me. B. I let it go. Why cause a stir? C. I confront them and ask them why they did what they did. D. I strike back, doing the same thing to them, only 10 times worse. 14. You are on a roll, and everything seems to be going your way. What do you do now? A. Take time off to go on vacation. B. Maintain the status quo. C. Start dabbling in another business or another career. D. Stay involved and focused on my main business or career, driving it to new heights. 15. What is your attitude toward the business of being in a relationship? A. My spouse and I love each other, and we would never get a divorce. B. I believe my spouse loves me, and even if we split, things would end amicably. C. Divorce is a possibility, but I do not want to think about it now. D. I love my spouse, and I do not want it to end, but I signed a prenuptial agreement to protect my finances in case it does. Now, tally up your score. Count up the number of A's, B's, C's, and D's. Give yourself 1 point for every A, 2 points for every B, 3 points for every C, and 4 points for every D. Now, listen to the chart below to see how you rate. Number of points. How you rate. 15 to 25. Poor. You need a major attitude overhaul. 26 to 35. Average. You need to kickstart your attitude into high gear. 36 to 45. Good. You have potential, but need to improve. 46 to 60. Excellent. You are ready for the big leagues. Let it rip. Explanations of the questions. 1. What are your financial dreams? What you dream about is what you will do. If you cannot even dream of doing big things, you will never do anything big in life. I spent my first few weeks in Manhattan dreaming of what I would do with a huge piece of vacant real estate on New York's West Side that was owned by the bankrupt Pennsylvania and New York Central Transportation Company. After 18 months of hard work and focus, I took an option to the property worth $62 million with no money down. I conceived the Javits Center on the land. That is the power of big dreams. What kind of big dreams excite you and make you feel great? Don't worry about whether you can do it. That does not matter. It does not cost anything to dream. Spend your time enjoying your big dreams. 2. How much money do you want to have in 5 years? If you chose the lowest amount, why did you do that? You have a choice of getting any amount from $100,000 to $5 million in the next 5 years. It's completely up to you. Nobody is telling you what to choose, so why would anyone choose $100,000? But in life, that is exactly what many people do. They settle for $100,000 when they could just as easily have $5 million. Choosing less money shows a lack of ambition and a lack of confidence. Do not start out by settling. Always shoot for the top. Every great athlete and every great billionaire goes for the gold, not the bronze. If it were me answering this question, I would scratch out $5 million and write in $50 billion. That's the attitude you must have to make it big. 3. Which statement best describes your financial situation? This question shows how hungry you are. Hungry people work harder and are much more motivated to make great strides forward in life. If you're satisfied with your current financial situation, what's going to motivate you to do all the things you need to do to become rich and successful? You'll have to set higher and higher goals. You have to want more. or you will start slipping backwards fast. 4. How much time do you spend each day building your wealth? Wealth comes from big goals and sustained action toward those goals every day. Many people start with big goals, but after they run into a few problems or get distracted by other things that compete for their attention every day, they lose focus on their goals. To keep your goals alive, you must take action every single day for at least 2 hours. No one should care about your money and success more than you do. 5. How much money do you spend on business, financial education, and training? Finance and business are dangerous waters where vicious sharks are swimming around, looking to feed on innocent novices. In this game, knowledge is the key to power. Spend the money necessary to know what you're doing, or somebody will quickly be doing you. Financial illiteracy is a huge problem in this country. People get trapped in very bad situations because they did not do their homework. 6. What do you do when you are faced with a difficult problem? Rich people are rich because they solve difficult problems. You must learn to thrive on problems. CEOs of big companies are paid huge amounts of money because they solve problems that nobody else can solve. Some are good at what they do, and some are terrible and overpaid. I face problems every day. It's one of the things I do best. If you want to be in the top 2%, you must become very good at finding creative solutions to what appear to be impossible problems. 7. What is your attitude toward work? There's no worse feeling than being trapped in a job you do not enjoy. You have to love what you do. To be a success, the most important thing is to love what you do. You have to put in long hours and face enormous challenges to be successful. If you do not love what you do, you will never make it through. But if you love your work, the difficulties will be balanced out by the enjoyment. I love making deals and constructing great buildings. The fun I'm having every day keeps me going when things get tough. 8. What would you do if you lost your job or source of income? This is the ultimate test. If disaster struck, would you fold up and go home to your mother? Or would you pick yourself up and make something happen? The biggest doers often suffer the biggest setbacks in life, so if you want to aim high, you have to have the guts to handle the inevitable bumps in the road. If you strike out, nobody is going to help you, not your friends, not the government. You have to look out for yourself, and your attitude is the key to surviving a setback. Look at shoe maven Steve Madden. He had some legal trouble, but he had a successful attitude that could not be subdued, and he staged a big-time comeback. You have to know that you have what it takes to come back from anything. Martha Stewart is another example. What a great and brave comeback she made. Few people could have done what she did. 9. Which statement best describes your energy and concentration level? In truth, you have more energy than you think you have. Most people are working at about 50% capacity. You can do much more. It takes a crisis or an emergency to get most people up to full steam. I get charged up by loving what I do. Nothing is more important to me than the excitement of putting caution to the wind and doing something that has never been done before. I love the thrill of jumping headfirst into a big challenge and then using all of my talents to make it successful. Passion is why Mark Burnett, Jim Cramer, and Arnold Schwarzenegger are at the tops of their fields. All successful people are high-energy people who are passionate about what they do. Find a passion that energizes you. 10. Which best describes your reaction when someone tells you that you cannot do something? If you want to be a success, you have to get used to frequently hearing the word no and ignoring it. As a child, when your mother told you no, your father told you no, the teacher told you no, or the coach told you no, if you were a good little boy or girl, you listened to the word no and stopped what you were doing. That's why 98% of adults are conditioned to stop when they hear the word no. Quitters do not get anywhere. You won't be successful if you listen to no's. If you want to be in the top 2%, you have to get real. In business, you're not dealing with your mother, your father, or your teacher. People are not looking out for you. They do not want the best for you. They are looking out for themselves. When most people say no, they're doing it to further their own ends. Don't let somebody's arbitrary no stop you. Find a way to turn the no into a yes, or find a creative way to sidestep the no. Don't let anybody stop you. 11. You have an important decision to make, and you do not know what to do. Which statement best describes your decision-making process? I really believe that if you're good, and if you're smart, and if you know your business, you have to go with your gut on occasion, and go against the tide. In some of the best deals I've made, I went against what everybody else believed. Television producer Mark Burnett went from selling T-shirts on Venice Beach to reaching the pinnacle of Hollywood power because he followed his instincts about the kind of reality TV that would appeal to the masses. We all have instincts. The important thing is to know how to use them. You may have superb academic credentials, but if you don't use your instincts, you might have a hard time getting to and staying at the top. 12. What is your attitude toward people? The world is a vicious and brutal place. We think we're civilized, but in truth, it's a cruel world and people are ruthless. They act nice to your face, but underneath, they're out to kill you. You have to know how to defend yourself. People will be mean and nasty and try to hurt you just for sport. Lions in the jungle only kill for food, but humans kill for fun. Even your friends are out to get you. They want your job, they want your house, they want your money, they want your wife, and they even want your dog. And those are your friends. Your enemies are even worse. My motto is hire the best people and don't trust them. 13. When someone intentionally harms you or your reputation, how do you react? When someone crosses you, my advice is get even. That's not typical advice, but it's real-life advice. If you don't get even, you're just a schmuck. When people wrong you, go after those people, because it's a good feeling, and because other people will see you doing it. I love getting even. I get screwed all the time, and I go after people. And you know what? People do not play around with me as much as they do with others. They know that if they do, they're in for a big fight. Always get even. Go after people that go after you. Don't let people push you around. Always fight back and always get even. It's a jungle out there, filled with bullies of all kinds who will try to push you around. If you're afraid to fight back, people will think of you as a loser, a schmuck. They will know they can get away with insulting you, disrespecting you, and taking advantage of you. Don't let it happen. Always fight back and get even. People will respect you for it. 14. You are on a roll, and everything seems to be going your way. What do you do now? If you're on a quest for the golden ring, you cannot afford to be complacent. You can never rest, no matter how good things are going. Your current good times are only a result of the hard work and dedication you have put forth. What you do today will produce results tomorrow. If you want to keep the good times rolling, you have to keep on planting those seeds every day. If you stop focusing even for 1 minute, you will start slipping backwards. It's true that a few people are born to be successful. They possess a special talent that makes it easy to succeed. The gifted musician, the natural athlete, or the talented business person. But the vast majority of successful people were not handed success on a silver platter. They worked hard for it. They set goals, and they stayed focused until they reached them. Some people are born with an exceptional talent that makes it easy for them to excel, like Mozart or Shakespeare. But most great successes weren't born that way. It took many years of hard work and intense focus to get to the top. 15. What is your attitude toward the business of being married? Now, I have seen bad deals. I have seen bad partnerships. I have seen many business deals in litigation, and litigation is not nice. But there is nothing worse than a man and a woman who fight, especially when they are fighting over their assets, their business, their home, their cars, and everything else. It is terrible. You were in love with somebody, and now you are no longer in love. The hatred is so intense, far more intense than it usually gets in a business transaction. There's nothing more vicious than a man or woman going through a divorce. It's pure hell, like nothing else I have ever seen. You need a prenuptial agreement to protect yourself and your business interests. Marriage is a contract unlike any other contract in life. You marry for love. But your signature on the marriage certificate is all about rights, duties, and property. It's a legally binding contract that knows nothing of love. If the love dies, all you have left is a resentful ex-spouse and the marriage certificate. There's nothing more terrible than an ex-spouse with a 10-ton axe to grind, and no agreement on how your common property is to be divided. It usually leads to all-out war that is more vicious than any legal battle in business, and could easily lead to your financial and emotional ruin. Always get a prenup. It's just too risky not to. So, how did you score on the test? Let's cut to the chase. If you scored a 46 to 60, you are making the grade. You are one of the top 2% who have what it takes to make it big. If you work hard, you may become more successful than someone with a high IQ or an MBA. I've seen it all my life. I went to the Wharton School of Finance with some great students. I still know many of them today. And, with a few exceptions, they are not very successful. I've seen people who could not even get into Wharton, who went to other colleges, or no college at all. But they focused on their goals and never quit. They worked hard, and they loved what they were doing, and they ended up being more successful than the genius students at Wharton. Hard work is my personal method for financial success. I know a lot of people who do not have great talent, but they are rich. You can do it too. The principles in this audiobook will help anyone, no matter what their background. If you did not score between 46 and 60, then listen to this audiobook now. Underline what is missing in your life, and especially important, absorb the attitudes expressed in my stories. Feel what I'm feeling, and make my attitude your attitude. Then retake the test. You will score much higher after listening to this book. Zanker's Take. As president and founder of the Learning Annex, I've had the opportunity to observe hundreds of super successful people firsthand. Millionaires and billionaires who have risen above the ordinary to achieve amazing things in life. They all possess one very important quality: persistence. Look at Donald Trump, for example. He personifies the word persistence. He never quits, even when he was down and out. More than anything else, it takes persistence to do the things you need to get to the top. How many days do you feel like you can't do it anymore? Can't make the call or knock on the door? How many times can you get rejected, yet you know you're just so close? How many times do you have to ignore people hounding you for money while you're moving heaven and earth to make you and your family's dreams happen? We have all been there. It's hard, but the rewards are great. So don't stop until you achieve your dreams. It takes persistence to knock on door after door and deal with rejection after rejection without knowing whether you will ever be successful. And when you finally break through and land a great client or a great job or venture capital for your startup business, it takes persistence to sign on the dotted line and commit to fulfilling what you promised you would do. It takes persistence to face the difficult problems that nobody can help you solve. It takes persistence to endure setbacks and come back with the same level of intensity and enthusiasm you had before. And when you finally succeed, it takes persistence to fight back when rivals, competitors, and bullies come after you to take you down. I learned how persistence works long ago when I was building the Learning Annex in the early 1980s. I wanted the owner of the famous New York food store, Zabar's, Murray Klein, to speak on how to create a great food market. I thought New Yorkers who love food, and there are plenty of them, would flock to this class. Zabar's was, and still is, a great New York food institution on the Upper West Side. I called and went to see Murray Klein, and in a very New York way, he dismissed me and my request, while he was busy yelling at the fish cutter to make the slices thinner. If you've never been to Zabar's, you've got to go visit this place. Murray Klein is a quintessential New Yorker. Walking home, feeling rejected, I got an idea. The next morning, I called a florist and told them to deliver $200 worth of flowers every day to Zabar's, with a note to Murray Klein saying, "Please teach at the Learning Annex." Remember, this was the 1980s, and $200 bought a lot of flowers. I told the florist, "Keep delivering the flowers every day until I tell you to stop." By day 9, I started panicking that I was down $1,800 already, with not a word from Murray Klein. Then the call came. "Zanker," Murray said, "what's it going to take for you to stop sending me these damn flowers? There's no room in my office anymore." I said, "Give New Yorkers one night of your time." Murray said, "I love your chutzpah. I'll do it." And Murray surprised everyone and brought a spread of food to the class that was glorious. People ate for free all of Zabar's delicacies while Murray talked. He was brilliant, bringing the food to class because everyone talked about it the next day. What great publicity for Zabar's. And the next day, I got flowers from Murray with a card saying, "Zanker, that was fun, but I will never, ever do it again." I've used this trick numerous times since then, and in fact, more recently, I got Jim Cramer from Mad Money the same way. Let me tell you another story about persistence. When I bought back the Learning Annex in 2001, I wanted Robert Kiyosaki of Rich Dad fame to speak. I kept calling up his office, and he and his partner Sharon Lechter wouldn't take my calls. I read that he was speaking in Phoenix, so I left my home in Westchester County in New York at 5 a.m. and got on a plane at John F. Kennedy Airport to get to Phoenix. I got to the event on time, and I asked to meet with Robert during lunch. His assistant said, "I can't do it. You need an appointment." I said, "I can't get an appointment. He's not returning my calls." She said, "I'm sorry." Taking a taxi back to the Phoenix airport, I was very angry. How stupid. But on the flight back to New York, I decided I wouldn't quit. So every day at around 11 a.m., I'd call Robert and Sharon and leave messages. It became a ritual, like brushing your teeth in the morning. I would call Robert and Sharon every morning at around 11. I did this for around 3 months straight, never missing a day, and finally, Sharon Lechter called me up. She said, "I'll be in New York next week. Would you like to have lunch?" I said, "Great." She asked, "Where do you want to meet?" I'm a guy who eats lunch at my desk, but the first restaurant that came to my mind was the 21 Club, a posh New York restaurant. She said, "Great, I'll see you there." I got to the restaurant an hour before we were supposed to meet, and I went to the maitre d'. I gave him $20, and I asked him, "When I get here for lunch, can you ask me if I want my usual table?" He took my $20 and said no. I went into my pocket, took out 5 more 20s, and gave them to him. He said, "I'll see you at 1 o'clock. I walked in at 1 o'clock exactly when Sharon walked in, and the maitre d' hugged me. He was almost overdoing it, and he said, "Mr. Zanker, nice to see you." He ushered us to a great table. Sharon was duly impressed. In the end, the lunch was a great success, because it was over that lunch we agreed Robert would speak just once for the Learning Annex. Rich Dad Robert Kiyosaki had such a great experience that the once became many times. It took me 6 months, but I was persistent and always knew I would get Robert to teach for the learning annex, because no was not an option. I see it all the time. The most successful people I have learned from just never take no for an answer. They have all had to endure big challenges to get where they are. They've had to overcome the odds that stop most people from making it big. To do this, they've had to develop the habit of persistence. You're going to learn a lot in this audiobook, but as a small business owner, never giving up is the most important attribute you can learn. To sum it up, winners in life have a special quality that I call the trump it quality, which sets them apart from 98% of the population. There's a formula you can follow to be a winner in life, but you must be brutally honest with yourself. Getting rich is tough, and people get hurt. You have to be as tough as nails and willing to kick ass if you want to win. Take the previous litmus test to see if you have the right stuff. Learn about the areas of your life you need to kick up a notch. Listen to this audiobook and absorb the tough attitude stories. Then retake the test and you will score much higher. Points to remember. Dream big, because what you dream is what you will do. If you want to make tons of money, don't be shy. Set a big goal. Be lean and hungry, and at every level set even higher goals and challenges for yourself. Take action every day and stay focused for the long haul. Soak up more and more knowledge so that you always know what you're doing. Pride yourself on your ability to find creative solutions to tough problems. Be passionate about your work. Never take no for an answer. Learn to trust your gut. Hire the best people and do not trust them. Get even with people who do you wrong. Never stop focusing on your objectives, even when things are good. Always get a prenuptial agreement.